A precipitation reaction is one where two solutions are mixed and a precipitate results. You need to learn the precipitation reactions and the colours involved when copper 2, iron 2 and 3, manganese 2 and chromium 3 hexa-aqua complexes are reacted with sodium hydroxide and ammonia. We will start with sodium hydroxide. Copper 2 ions in aqueous solution are blue in colour and form a gelatinous blue precipitate of copper 2 hydroxide on addition of sodium hydroxide. Iron 2 ions in aqueous solution are green in colour and form a green precipitate of iron 2 hydroxide on the addition of sodium hydroxide. Iron 3 ions are yellow in solution and form a brown precipitate of iron 3 hydroxide. Manganese 2 ions are pale pink in aqueous solution, but a brown precipitate of manganese 2 hydroxide is formed on the addition of sodium hydroxide. Chromium 3 plus ions in aqueous solution start off violet in colour and form a green precipitate of chromium 3 hydroxide. However, when further sodium hydroxide is added, the precipitate dissolves and a solution of this complex is formed. So to summarise, all the ions initially form precipitates of hydroxides on addition of sodium hydroxide. On addition of further sodium hydroxide, only chromium 3 hydroxide dissolves. Now let's look at the addition of ammonia. In all cases, as with sodium hydroxide, the precipitates of the metal hydroxides are formed, and so the observation and colours are as for sodium hydroxide. However, on addition of further ammonia, copper 2 hydroxide will dissolve and form a blue solution of this complex, and we covered this reaction when we looked at ligand substitution reactions. And on addition of further ammonia to chromium 3 hydroxide, the precipitate dissolves and this complex is formed. Again, we came across this reaction when we looked at ligand substitution reactions. Do note that on exposure to air, both the precipitates of iron 2 hydroxide and manganese 2 hydroxide are oxidized to an oxidation state of 3. The iron 2 hydroxide oxidizes to iron 3 hydroxide and, as we have already stated, is brown in colour. The manganese 2 hydroxide oxidizes to manganese 3 oxide, which is darker in colour.